Good morning, everybody. I'm just doing my part 3 to how I found out that this guy was hiding my comments and posts on Facebook, which led me to figuring out that he was behind Facebook group admins, and I also found out he was behind the mods on Saskatoon Reddit. And that's all that I know so far. I have suspicions he might be under other subreddits, especially to do with like Calgary, Edmonton, since he had Facebook group pages on there hacked as well. So I was just ending off the last video where I was talking about how I was skimming through Reddit. It wasn't never really a primary app of mine, but I did like to skim through some of the subreddits. And the only one that I found out that he was behind was the Saskatoon one. I'm assuming he might be behind the other city ones since he was behind Calgary and Edmonton group pages as well. Actually, it was the Edmonton one that I will be referring to that I'm talking about where I caught him hiding my comments. And it wasn't just the help pages. Like when I went into the story about how, like what I just told you, what happened on the Facebook group pages, that was in Edmonton. I think that was the people helping people. But I did go on Saskatoon pages, like Saskatoon YXE. It used to be Saskatoon Boots and Salutes. That used to be like the outlet page where you would just, you publicly shame people, whether it was legal or illegal. Some people got in trouble because they weren't thinking, and some people did get publicly shamed. But that's why I think this guy hacked not just me and other people in these pages, but I think he was trying to control the type of information that was getting out there, because I know very well he didn't just mess with me and the 2 other victims. I know he's messed with tons of people. And if you're a dude that used to date any of his victims, or you are dating his victims, yeah, he'll target you too. I will make a separate video to do with just naming which group pages. And I was actually thinking of testing it out and making a post. Because he knows I outed him out about him hiding posts and whatnot, right? And whenever I would out him on things, he would just go back and switch to, like, he would just take back the accusation. I don't know how to word that properly, but like, because I said that he's hiding my posts, I bet you anything, if I was to make a post right now, he wouldn't hide it. Just to make me look crazy. Even though the activity I talk about was all over Facebook, but nobody could see it but myself or my friends. But anyways, I wasn't even looking for a bait post or anything on Reddit. I was just skimming through, and someone posted an ad about Farm Kids Daycare in Saskatoon. And what the poster was asking, like the person who made the post or whatever, I was going to say question, they were just pretty much asking if it was a good daycare place. And I know very well that it's not just this guy. There's other people that do this too, but I know specifically he likes to do this as well, where he takes actual businesses, posts their photos. He will even like impersonate the owners and business owners as well. Like he'll make a Facebook page, or he has their Facebooks hacked, so he can pose as these pages. It's not just him creating these pages. He has also hacked business pages and whatnot as well. But anyways, I kind of know what was going on Facebook about how he was making, he could have hacked an actual Facebook page. But what I think he does, just because I don't click on the links, was he makes an ad, he puts the photos of the daycare, all the information, everything but the phone number. And I wasn't even thinking about it being a bait post whatsoever. But people were commenting, and one person said that they think it's a fake ad, or they're not sure about it on Facebook, and it was to do with Facebook. This person was asking if it was legit and directing everybody to Facebook. And one person commented saying that they don't think it's a legit business or a legit ad because the pictures look generic, and I forget what else they said. So I hopped on the internet and I went to the good old Saskatchewan website where it talks about, where it shows all the licensed daycares that are registered under the government. I don't know, you'd have to be a really good hacker to get into that government part to put an ad on there, you know, like I don't think that can be duped. But I did find the daycare. And I matched up the address. The guy even had pictures of the house from the outside on this Facebook ad. So I looked it up. It was the right house. There was a website. I think there was an email, but it was just like info at Farm Kids Daycare or whatever. But on the Facebook ad, I noticed there was like an email, there was a web link, and keep in mind is that even though if there is a legit business email or website, hackers can dupe like links and put like info at Farm Kids Daycare, and it'll look like a real link, but all you got to do is click on it, and that's how he gets malware. Anybody can do that. You can make an email exactly like yours, and it'll just be a duped email, and it's used for phishing. There's ways these people can do it, and that's why I'm on here, because this guy, not only does he fool people, but he gives people misinformation. He gaslights people. He tried doing it to me. He tells people like just bogus information. Like the one example of misinformation was when I was trying to call out those fake accounts on Facebook. He was going around saying, oh no, the only types of fake accounts are these types, the ones with empty profile pictures. And he does that purposely because, you know, people aren't as aware and they're not as educated. People are still with old knowledge on how hackers and scammers work online when they've completely elevated and evolved what they're doing. And he knows damn well he's behind those accounts, and he's trying to make everybody think that like that's not a thing and that's not what's going on. Even though many other people, before I even knew about this, investigated, there's tons of other people out there that are well aware of this situation way before I even met them. There's strangers out there that are aware of this. And when people would talk about it, I just never clued in. I had no idea. I just assumed it was online. They're scammers. I didn't think it would affect me, my friends, and family. And I think that's, you know, what everybody else thinks. And this guy is trying to affect everybody. Like, I'm not kidding you. I think his goal is to hack everybody on, like, you know, one platform or whatever. It would be funny if all of us just ditched Facebook and he would just be sitting there talking to himself. And guarantee you, he would do that. But anyways, going back to this post on Reddit, I went back to the post because I matched up the information and I realized that the post on Facebook was a bait post. And that, you know, just to be careful of the link, but there was no phone number because it's direct, right? So I was just trying to help. This was a complete accident. I wasn't looking for anything. I wasn't looking for a bait post. I wasn't even thinking about this guy. I was just trying to help because I seen this poster and someone was asking. And I told the person, like the poster, and I said, hey, be very careful. There's somebody online. I know one for sure, but there's probably others where he'll steal any business. He has businesses hacked, and he'll make bait posts, and he'll post a link. He'll post like an email that he'll want for you to email, so he has your email. And then I said he'll leave out little pieces of information. I said, if you're looking for a daycare, you have to go to the government website because you know for sure you're going directly. You're having a direct access. There's nothing duped or anything. And then I just said, if you want to make sure that you're calling this daycare, I said, go to the website. There's a phone number there. I said, all the information matches up. And then I said, I noticed that the number wasn't on the Facebook ad. So that's why I'm assuming it's a dupe. But it might not be. They might have just forgot their phone number. But the fact that somebody was purposely inquiring about it, I commented. Not even a minute later, my comment got declined. It got denied so quick. And I think it was idling for like a minute, not even that. And it, boom, denied. I made no violations. I didn't swear. We all know what kinds of stuff is on Reddit. I couldn't believe my eyes when he did that because not only was I shocked at what I found, but he also gave himself away again. And I didn't think there'd be 4 parts to this, but unfortunately I had to add some more stuff. So I'll see you in part 4.